Well, good Monday morning to you, and welcome to our live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. I'm Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Callan Road in Gulfport. How are y'all?
We're good.
Fine. How about you?
Beautiful weekend that we had along here on the Gulf Coast, and hopefully we'll have a great week here. A lot of sun shining out there. A lot of folks are getting out, enjoying the sunshine more and more.
Yes.
We didn't really have much of a winter, did we?
Not much.
How about 2 days?
Yeah,
Maybe three.
Maybe 3. Okay.
We slept through one of them.
We always like
Exactly. But anyway, that's kind of the topic we're going to talk about today. And our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or at 1-800-349-0713 if you have any questions regarding our topic of the day or of any topic that maybe you were holding on to over the weekend with a question. But that's on protecting your skin from skin cancer. Because, I mean, down here in the South, we get outside, we love to enjoy the sunshine, and wear, a lot of people wear as little as possible.
Right. And that is one part of the problem. Mm-hmm. When you have too much exposure of the skin to the sun, of course, you're going to get damage.
Yeah. See that right
there? You're going to get skin damage.
Yeah, there you go.
And we were just talking this morning where I was mentioning to you days like this where there's so many clouds, which right now it is cloudy. People think they're protected and they're not because you still have the UV rays. Mm-hmm. And so people go out in the middle of the summer when it's cloudy, even in the winter when it's cloudy, you can still get skin damage. So people don't think about that.
Yeah, you have this false sense of security out there because, you don't have the glaring sun coming down on you really, really hot, but you're, like you said, you're still getting those rays.
Right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize even wearing long sleeves, if it's not a UV protected shirt, you can actually have those rays go through a lot of materials. Especially real light, thin materials.
Well, in the summertime, you want light, thin materials because it's hot. So, and that's the ones that are going to get you in trouble. But you can get the, the clothing.
He wears them all the time. The UV, the long UV protected clothing, where he can work out in the garden and not get exposed to
Columbia
as
and
much
all those
UV
people
rays.
You make that,
but still, it would not hurt at all to put just, even if you're going to have something like that, put a little SPF 15 or 30 or something, light cream or something, and just put on you and then put the clothes on over you if you're going to be out in the sun a lot.
Right, yeah.
Especially, people like to fish. You're out on the boat a lot. So if you're out there and you like to fish and, you're getting a lot of reflected light off the water.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, that's even worse. I mean, you don't realize that.
Or laying out by a pool. I mean,
exact same thing.
We all have a pool. And so, people going up the river. My wife and I like to go up the river on the boat, hang out with friends and everything. But as you said, that water reflects and it just magnifies it.
It does. And we don't think about that, but, skin cancer is on the rise. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Talk to any, go to dermatologist. Just ask any of them.
Well, it's one of the number one killers of people. I mean, up there because little things you might see a little spot come up and say, "Oh, it's just a mole," nothing like that. But if it doesn't look right.
Yeah, one thing for prevention we want to stress, if there's something on you that you don't think looks quite right, don't just ask your spouse or don't just ask a friend, go see a dermatologist. Because they can look at it more and they can biopsy it. Because sometimes it don't look bad, but when you biopsy it, it is skin cancer. So you don't know until you've had it checked out. So that's one thing we wanted to stress is don't wait. If you have something that looks unusual, then go get it checked.
And it's one of the things, when I first shaved my head a few years ago, I mean, if you see the top of my head, I got a few little spot areas on there. I went and had them checked.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be sure that I was okay. And as you said, being out in the sun a lot. And just because you got a head of hair doesn't mean necessarily you're protected.
That's true.
But if you don't have hair, you're really not protected.
You're really not.
That's for sure.
Well, you're right. Though, especially if you part your hair a certain way or something, and then one of the things that even the dermatologist will tell you is make sure that you check that area of your hair. In other words, where if you part it a certain way, always make sure you're checking it because that's a prime area, especially if you don't have a hat. Even if you've got hair, I like to wear a hat. I mean, I'm just, of course, I've had.
And actually, the big rimmed floppy hats, and actually hats with UV protection as well.
Exactly.
So you can get those hats because like I said, he works in the garden a lot, so he's outside a lot, and so he does have to wear long skin because he is that fair-skinned person. Now, that's another thing. Who's at risk? A lot of people don't realize who's at risk for skin cancer. I mean, anybody can get it.
Right.
But if you are fair-skinned, light-eyed, you're more likely to. If you have somebody in your family that actually has it, you're at higher risk. If you've had it before, there's no doubt you're at higher risk. So, people, if you have a job where you work outside, you're at risk. So, if you're exposed, and family history and skin tone, because definitely, if the more melanin in your skin does protect you some.
It does.
It's a
I mean, that's
natural.
what it's
It's a
for.
natural sunscreen.
Yeah.
But there's some people that definitely burn, like him. And like I said, he has had one skin cancer on his neck, and it was the area that we didn't think was skin cancer at the time. But it
Yeah.
was an itchy, dry patch. It was not a black mole. It was an itchy, dry patch that never cleared up, no matter what kind of lotion was put
Lotion
on it.
didn't fix
Yeah.
it.
And
Okay.
sure enough, that was the one that was actually, when he had it checked, that's the one that was skin cancer.
Yeah.
But, you know, skin cancers definitely, if you catch them early, you get them cut off.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about some nutrients that you can do to protect too later on in the show, but you know, that's something that you want to do for prevention.
896-0713 or 800-349-0713. The numbers that which you can call us this morning. And as you mentioned, the little dry patches, I had
Yep.
one of those on the back of my neck. Same thing. You know, you could just scratch it out. It kept
Yep.
coming back.
Right.
Another thing that I had checked. So,
Yeah.
you know, it
could be a-
pays to go get it done.
It could be a keratosis,
Yeah.
which is not, you know, not anything really to be excited about, but it could also be something else. Mine turned out to be a squamous cell.
Yeah.
And they, you know, of course, I got half a facelift from that. You know, when they
When
cut
they cut
that
it
much
out.
of it off, you know, I got half a facelift. I kept going back saying, I got to have something on this
exactly.
side.
Find
Yeah.
something on the other side to
Yeah.
get it done over there.
And so yeah, because it took a pretty good chunk out of my neck when they did that.
And you can have different forms of, I'm sure most people out there, you know, you have the basal cell and you have the squamous cell, and then you have the really bad one, the melanoma.
Yes.
Which, you know, people with really heavy mole anyway, when you're young and you have lots of moles, you're another one that needs to be checked for skin cancer because they're more likely to get skin cancer as well.
Recently, we know of several people who were fair skinned, had a lot of moles, had a melanoma removed, thought they got everything, you know, for sure, and yet it developed into something a lot worse.
Right, because skin cancer, a lot of people, you know tell when people it's had skin cancer, and it's no big deal. Well, it can
Yeah.
be a big deal because if you don't
Sure can.
catch skin cancer and it metastasizes, you can actually, it can be like any other, as bad as any other cancer out there. Melanoma is actually one of the worst cancers out there because it's very hard to treat. It's not very
Very.
successful on treatment once it has spread. So you definitely, that's one reason we wanted to stress. We thought summer was coming up, and like
Yeah.
we said, we didn't have much winter, so we've kind of been out there, but you always want to be checked.
All right, 896-0713, 800-349-0713. We'll take your phone calls and ask a few questions here in just a couple of moments. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. And we're talking about skin cancer today and things to do that prevent it, things to look for. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. And Madeline from Moss Point wants to know, what about freckles? Is that a sign you would be more prone to developing skin cancer?
Well, actually, most people that have freckles
Are fair
fair
skinned.
skin.
Yes.
Fair skin.
Yes.
So yes, and from that standpoint, you definitely want to be protected. You know, if you're going to go out in the sun, you know, for sure, be protected because you could definitely have an issue there.
Usually that's, you find more freckles with redheads.
Yeah,
than,
you can
anything.
do, but
Because
anybody
my
can
daughter
have
is
some.
one. She
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of freckles, but she is smart. She
Yeah.
does not get out in the sun very much,
Yeah.
even though, you know,
Yeah.
without getting out with my grandson, she makes sure that she has plenty of sunscreen on.
Yeah.
Cherie from Biloxi on the phone with us. Good morning, Cherie. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes. What about when moles fall off?
Now, even when moles fall off, you still need to have them checked because I know of an instance before where we had somebody that actually had metastasis from melanoma and they could not find a primary site, but she had a mole on her shoulder that had fell off. And it ended up going spread in the body without, and she had hit it is why it fell off. So even if it's suspect, have it checked.
If it's scratched off like by accident or?
It's possible because
Well,
I've known of a case like that.
The lady that we know about, like I say, that it was
Hers,
an accident.
she got hit. Yeah, it
Yeah.
hit, and it actually, and they're not 100% sure that's where it came from, but she showed up with a lump under her arm, and it ended up being melanoma, and it was on the same shoulder that she had the mole that was knocked off.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're
Yes, ma'am.
welcome.
All right.
Bless you.
896-0713, 800-349-0713. You know, a lot of people will wonder, well, the SPF levels,
Yes.
how important are those? You know, between the 15s and the 30s and the 50s
Right.
and the
And
100s and all
150s and so
that.
on, yeah.
They say after a certain amount, probably after about 30, you're probably
Yeah.
not going to have really more protection.
Yeah.
But just about everything we carry is about 30.
Mm-hmm.
But we carry the ones that they show to be very safe because that's another problem with sunscreens is there's some out there that the chemicals in them have been shown to cause cancer. So it's kind of like you really want to pay attention to that. So you got to look at what kind it is. And there's an environmental working group that'll give you a list.
That's, I mean, they've got some really
Yeah.
neat, it's a really neat site for you to go to. It's called environmentalworkinggroup.org or EWG.org. And the Environmental Working Group has a list of all the various manufacturers of the sunscreens. And they'll tell you, name like Coppertone. Okay, how many of them do they have that are safe? And it might be one, or somebody like Bullfrog or something, maybe 2 or 3.
They list a lot of them, and
They
so
list
there's
them
a
out
lot
there.
on their site, and we carry the ones actually that are okayed through their site. But most of the ones, probably all the ones we carry, are pretty much zinc oxide based.
Yeah.
And zinc oxide's been shown to be one of the most effective, but yet safest things that there is for protection.
The cream that I use after I shave my head in the morning time is this special paste stuff that has zinc oxide in it.
Yeah, because that's
And,
protected. right.
Exactly, so it protects it real well.
Yeah, good idea.
But everything you see say that to use at least a 15, but most of what we carry is a 30.
Yeah.
So,
And you're still going to get a tan through a 30.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
It may take you a little bit
And
longer,
just
but
one
it's
thing,
worth
people
it.
think if they apply it one time, it protects them, and it doesn't. If you're going to be out for 12 hours a day and you're going to be in the water, you got to apply it over and over. You really do. It's not just a one-time thing.
Especially if you're in the water, you're going to be outside, you're going to be sweating a lot and
I was
everything.
going to say even sweating,
Exactly.
you think, well, I put it on and I'm okay, but down in this part of the world, we perspire. and we sweat, folks.
Women glisten.
Glisten, they glisten, okay. But even if you're glistening, you need to reapply this stuff because it's definitely something that's going to go
Yeah, at least
bad
once
on
an
you.
hour. If you're out,
That's
out
what
and
they
you're
say,
sweating,
every couple
least,
hours at least.
At least once an hour,
Yeah.
especially if you're out in the water, you're swimming or
Right.
whatever. Even, like you said, it may say on there,
Water
water resistant, yeah.
Water resistant. It's not.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
so we've talked about, like I said, the sunscreen and covering up and not getting damage, and I think most people probably know that. The one thing they don't know, one reason we decided, is some of the nutrients that you can do to protect, and some of the really good research has been shown to protect against skin cancer. One that a lot of people would not have thought of before, but in 2013, a really good study came out. It was on niacinamide,
Right.
which is a type of niacin, but it does not flush you like regular niacin. It's
B3.
B3.
No.
And niacinamide, basically they took people that had already had skin cancer, so it was high-risk people anyway, and of those high-risk people, it decreased the risk of it coming back by 23%.
Wow.
So it was actually
good.
really good, and it's a very inexpensive supplement, and it's 500 milligrams twice a day is what the research was done on, so it's not an extreme dosage or anything. So it's very doable. And just to let everybody know, there's a lot of other good things to take niacinamide for. Skin in general, wrinkles. They even are starting to make a lot of skin creams with niacin and stuff in it because of that. But it also
I
helps.
take it. See how good I look?
It helps collagen production. It can help cholesterol. It can help lipids. It can help your metabolism of
Right.
carbohydrates and fats. It can.
Right.
There's so many things that it does that's beneficial. So it's not just going to protect from skin cancer. Now, that study was on non-melanoma skin cancer. So just wanted to kind of point that out, that it
Right.
was looking at non-melanoma. But there's really good studies coming out about, and I've even had a lot of dermatologists telling people to use niacinamide.
Right. It's been ever since that study came out.
We've had a lot of
people.
people coming in asking for it, before it was something that wasn't asked for a lot, but people started asking for it because so many dermatologists are telling people to use it. And so that's one thing you can do. Now there's definitely another one that's had research for years is green tea. Now there's a certain substance in green tea.
Yeah, the ECGC. It's
Yeah.
epigallocatechin gallate.
Right.
Big long name. Just drink green
That
tea.
is-
what he
well,
said.
That's
Yeah.
the active ingredient.
Yeah.
Now, drinking green tea, most of the research says it's not enough unless you drink huge amounts of it, because the milligrams that is in a cup of green tea, it varies. Especially if it's from a tea bag, it's going to be very low. They say
Yeah.
the tea bag itself soaks up some of it. Loose leaf green tea has more, but of course taking a capsule is going to be like drinking 10 to 12, 15 cups of green tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 8960713, 800-349-0713. Those are our phone lines. They're open to you. We're going to have a break come up here in just a moment. Then we're going to come back and give you this week's specials that you can get. Of course, we want to mention, if you're going to be headed over to Doctor's Nutrition, they're located on Cowan Road, just south of Pass Road in Gulfport. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It's our final segment this morning as we wrap up this Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. We've been talking about things that you can do to help protect yourself against skin cancer this year, things that you can look for. And what's this week's special?
Oh, what else?
course.
Niacinamide, for sure. Okay.
Niacinamide and Green Tea Max.
Okay.
Which Green Tea Max is a specialized green tea with a real high amount of the EGCG in it. So it's got it's 350 milligrams per capsule.
That's
Wow.
quite a few cups
Which is,
of tea.
yeah, it is. And so it's one of those that is
I
really
usually like a good cup of green tea in the
strong.
afternoon, but
Take a lot of them to do that.
Yeah.
Right,
takes a
it
lot of
does.
them.
But I mean, even doing a little bit, it's going to help some.
Sure.
But
Sure.
The research usually does use the higher amounts, and they did show that usually regular, just a cup of green tea is not enough for the prevention that you're looking for. And green tea has also been shown to actually help the DNA damage from UV radiation. So that's one way it helps, is because it actually helps repair.
Right.
And there's a few other nutrients that's been shown to help with that repair as well. Resveratrol, a lot of research on anti-cancers of all kinds, but at the same, and anti-aging, it's been shown to actually slow the aging process. So for someone that, wants to age slower, which I think is everybody.
Of course, yes.
And actually
not,
help
right?
with cancer prevention at the same
Yeah.
time. The resveratrol's good. Quercetin's had some good studies. Curcumins have had some good studies.
Yeah, your
So there's
turmeric
a
compounds are
lot of
big.
the natural antioxidants that's been shown to actually help prevention, and there are specific things on skin cancer. And we do have a product called polyresveratrol, which does have your curcumin, the resveratrol, the green tea, and quercetin.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
actually
Got
has
it
them
all in it.
all in one product. I would probably maybe even that and the niacinamide or the Green Tea Max and niacinamide. I would add that niacinamide. It's inexpensive.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one that I think the research looks really good on it.
And we want to urge everyone, to go to the doctor's website, doctorsnutrition.com.
Right.
And, not only, you can catch this later, but y'all have a lot of your podcasts and everything, a lot of
We
information.
do. You can
on
actually
different
go
subjects
on the
and everything.
website. You can go to where it says the media site, and you go to the media site and you can get to all the podcasts. You can get to all our past shows that
Right,
we've done as
right.
well.
Right.
But you can go there. Go to Facebook, like it's on Facebook. We're always putting out stuff there on Facebook. So, and you can go to our website and you can go straight to our Facebook page on the little icon
Yep.
at the top.
And there's a lot of great things, as you said, some great information, the past shows that we have done, that you can go back there if there's something in particular that you wanted to find out more about.
Right.
You can go back there and watch some of those and educate yourself.
Right.
There
Like
you
I said,
go.
because our podcast, we probably get a little bit more information, a little bit more research because of the format.
Right.
But that is a good place to go listen. And if you have a
Sure
long
is.
trip, if you drive in your car a lot, something
Yeah.
to listen to.
There you go.
A lot of people are doing that. We have more people call because they're listening to the podcast while they're traveling for work or something.
Which I guess now,
It's a thing to do.
It
Yeah.
is.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's wild. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We got maybe about 5 minutes left in the show here. So, we have a question regarding the skin cancer thing, or maybe wondering, what's good for you as far as nutrients for the skin. One of the biggest things.
Water.
Water. Drink as much as you
Well,
can.
you stay hydrated. I don't know that that's
Yeah.
as much a cancer prevention,
Well,
but
no,
it
but it's
definitely
still
is
good for
a
your
skin.
skin.
It's
Yeah.
very good for the skin. Very good.
It's a good health thing for the skin. Sharon from Socia is on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, Sharon. What's your question for the doctors?
My question is, I am 60 years old, and I've always been a sun worshiper.
Huh?
And so now, of course, I scare myself in the morning. I have deep, deep wrinkles now because of that. Using minimal, like for the lowest for sunscreen that I always could. I mean, I always did have brown skin anyways, but so now I am really trying to slow this down, and nothing is working. Even the Vaseline cream that you have, it's just. And I was just, I think it's too late, but
Well,
what
I
you
mean,
were
there's
talking about with the green tea and
There's things that you can do to definitely prevent the skin cancer, and there's things that you can do to help your skin. Now, it might not go up back to 100% like it was, because there's more damages on the skin, the harder it is to reverse with the wrinkles. But there are some things that work. Now, I don't like a lot of the chemicals on the skin, which petroleum products are chemicals. And so we usually like, and you can even use stuff like the green tea topically. There's a lot of face creams made with the green tea. They're even putting niacin in a lot of face creams.
I was going to say,
and vitamin A. Vitamin A has been shown to actually really help. So there's things that will help. Not that it completely will reverse it. And water. Water hydrates and definitely helps with wrinkles.
Yeah, keeping that skin hydrated, like Jim was talking
Yeah.
about. You know, that at least keeps it plumped up and a little bit better.
And then a
you know.
liposomal vitamin C and collagen, because wrinkles are a breakdown of collagen as well underneath the skin. So you also have to help with your collagen to actually help with those wrinkles too.
That's true.
So there's a lot of things you can do. It might not go back, you know, unfortunately nobody's probably going to go back from when they were 60 to 20, but
I keep trying.
but there's things that you can do to kind of, you know, help some and also prevent things from getting worse.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Sharon.
Yeah, thanks,
896-0713, 800-349-0713. We got time for a couple more phone calls if you'd like to call in regarding that or any kind of topic. If you have a question regarding health, because that's what the show is all about, trying to help you do things to lead you a healthier lifestyle.
But maybe people should listen to Sharon's comments that she didn't use the sunscreen or use the lowest possible, and she stayed in the sun constantly and didn't think about it until she already had the problem. So, young people out there,
There was a lady
make sure you
years
start
and
doing it
years
now.
ago, years and years ago. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago. I was out playing golf one day, and over in Gulfport, and there met a lady that was out there on the golf course, and didn't find out till later that she was in her mid-30s, but her skin looked like brown leather.
Oh, yeah, it
because she
can.
was out
At
all the
you
30.
can
time.
damage your skin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Someone wanted to know, please repeat the special on the green tea and how many cups you need to make a difference.
Okay, well, it depends on which green tea. Like we said, green tea in like tea bags, they say is the lowest amount of the active ingredient you can get, and they think it's because the bag itself might actually soak some up. It's only got about 10 milligrams of the actual EGCG.
So if you take our green tea max, it's 350.
So that would be
a lot of
that'd
tea.
be 35 cups. But now you can get green tea from loose green tea. If you just get the loose green tea leaves and brew them, you can get up to 70 to 100 milligrams per cup. So that would be maybe 4 or 5 if you did it that way, but if you did it right. So it just, you have to look at, what kind of green tea you're getting. And the ready to drink green teas, very low as well. They found they're one of the
Very low.
lowest.
Oh, the ones that you go
Yep.
buy out of the
Yeah,
thing
Yeah,
that
the
says
ready to
green
drink
tea?
is they
Yeah.
said below 10 milligrams per.
They probably have so much sugar in them
They
anyway.
do, and they have a
Well,
lot
typically,
in some
yeah.
of them, yes.
Yeah, so, and that's stirred up another issue right there.
But that's
which
why
we've
if
covered
you
all the
really
time.
are at high risk and you really need the protection, we recommend doing like the green tea max, where you have a standardized extract, which you know exactly how much active ingredient you're getting.
And then you can drink some green tea on top of
top
that.
of it,
I mean,
exactly.
It's not
Sure.
much. Green teas are
Wash it
actually-
down with some green tea.
There you go.
Ashton from Carrier is on the phone with us. Good morning, Ashton. What's your question for the doctors?
Hello, Ashton.
Hello, Ashton. Turn your TV down.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. What
Ashton,
can I do
you
for you?
Yes, hello.
Yes, you need to turn your TV down.
TV is down.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead with your question, Ashton.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Can you hear us?
My TV is down.
Okay.
He's listening to
well,
his TV. Sorry,
I think
there's a delay there. And
Oh, well.
That may not
All
work out,
We'll
Ashton.
catch you next week, Ashton,
Yeah.
on that. So speaking of next week,
Yep.
what are we talking about?
well, we're going to talk about how to keep the muscles healthy.
Right, not building
muscle,
muscle.
yeah,
We're
right.
not talking about working out to build muscle. We're talking about muscle health and how to keep those muscles from being achy and hurting and have lactic acid buildup. So things you can do for muscle health and actual mitochondrial function.
Okay, all right. That's next Monday here at 9 o'clock. Don't forget the doctors will be in Monday through, well, the doctors will be there Monday, Tuesday,
Actually, we're
and
closed this Friday for Good Friday.
Oh.
Just let everybody know.
Well, there you go. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.